A two-day capacity building workshop had been organized for councillors in Ukwani Local Government Council. The event held in Asaba, the state capital, featuring lectures from resource persons drawn from the legal and medical background.
Now, Section 7 says basically the system of local governments by democratically elected local government councils is under this constitution guaranteed. And it goes on, it says, and accordingly, the government of every state shall, not will, it says shall, subject to section 8 of this constitution, ensure their existence under a law which provides for the establishment, structure, composition, finance, and functions. So, whether you like it or not, there must be a local government.
The local government, as the third tier of government, have been known to play a significant role in promoting grassroots development, good governance, and democratic decentralization in Nigeria. With the recent Supreme Court judgments granting autonomy to local governments in the country, which would now enable them to take charge of their territories without undue interference from state governments, it becomes imperative to prepare the leaders, particularly the legislature, for the task ahead. In line with this, the Ukwani Local Government Council, in collaboration with Chanel Consult, organized a two-day capacity building for councillors of the 8th Assembly in the Council, with the theme, Strengthening the Legislature at the Local Government in Nigeria for Effective Performance. The chairman of the Ukwani Local Government Council, Honorable Possible Ajede, said, the event is part of efforts to further consolidate on the gains of his first tenure, adding that it is in furtherance of his do more agenda for the Ukwani people.
At Ukwani level, Ukwani local government level, what we are doing there is that we are trying to strengthen the third tier of government. We are aware that a lot of focus is on the local government. Most especially recently when the Supreme Court came up with the issue of financial autonomy and all other areas that were contained in that judgment. So for us in Ukwani, were saying that let us now begin to strengthen every arm of the local government to enable us to be able to deliver the dividends of democracy following due process. Now, we cannot achieve that by not strengthening the legislators as it is. So the legislative have to be given all the maximum support and all they need to know to enable them come up with laws that will favor our people at the local level, and to enable them also help us in some of our policies direction to come up with laws that will enable us to implement them. So I think that is what it is. So we are trying to build capacity, we are trying to put them at that level so that they can be able to appreciate that beyond being voted for, beyond being called a councillor, they can be able to stand up on the floor and speak, talk to the house and come up with good laws. I think that is what we are doing. I think the process speaks for itself. For anybody that wants the third tier of government to be strong, and for us again to judiciously allocate and appropriate what is coming to the local government. There's need for all hands to be on deck. We don't want a situation where one arm will be working, the other arm is watching. Even though at a certain level they are supposed to play the role of a watchdog, but they are also expected to punctuate when it's necessary, so that we do not just be whatever the chairman thinks it does at the local level. So while the chairman is churning out, showing them the policy direction, their own is also to punctuate when necessary and perform their oversight functions and what have you. So my advice to my colleagues in other local governments is for them to key into this area, because if we are to strengthen the process begin with strengthening the men who are driving the process. You understand? So we have to give them all they require to be able to push force. In Ukwani, it is a do more agenda. The do more agenda It is a derivative from my first tenure as chairman. And our first tenure, we were able to record a lot of milestones in all angles, in all directions, in all facets of human development as it relates to Ukwani people. So when we came on board, we said there is need for us to now take the conversation higher. It is for us to now begin to expand what we are thinking. It is for us to begin to set up the structure, because I'm not going to stay here forever. So what we are doing now is to consolidate on what we have done. You understand? So the do more in itself, the do more agenda in itself is seeking to do things in different way. It is seeking to further implement the needs of the Ukwani people. It is to further consolidate on the milestone we have achieved. In the agenda, we have said that there is need for us to boost the local economy. And in boosting the local economy, we have to begin to look at those people who are into different, the local businesses, to aggregate them and look at what is their problem, identify them and empower them in that direction to enable them to continue with their trade. We have also said that the conversation around all here is becoming much. Let us now push to another direction. So we have set up farm clubs in all the 10 wards that make up the local government. These farm clubs, I think, as I speak here, my secretary of the local government is already going around to inaugurate them. The essence of the inauguration is to ensure that those of them who have been enrolled are truly farmers on ground, because we don't want the situation whereby the local government will start embarking on the processes of also supporting them. We are doing it to people who are living in diaspora or some ghost people. So we're identifying them and inaugurating that. That is on. And very recently, we also inaugurated the mobile health clinic. The mobile health clinic is also seeking to bridge the gap that the AWI centers are creating between the health centers and our people. So as I speak to you, the mobile clinic is also still running. So you understand, the do more agenda is a full package. If I stand here to assume all we have there, man, it's going to be a whole day.
The State Deputy Governor Samande Onyeme, represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff, Government House, Honorable Ifeanyi Osakwe, described the Ukwani Council boss as a pace setter.
This is a one-of-a-kind event. I've been a two-time local government chairman, and I can see the progression. There's a positive movement, and Ukwani local government seems to be always taking that primary role of telling others where the direction should go. It's a novel, and I must congratulate the chairman for this. It takes time. For me, I've always felt that the 3 years given for you to stay in this office is way too short. By the time you are acclimatized and know what is going on, it's already knocking on the door for you to leave. And it takes time to build real legislators. It takes significant time for you to learn the roads and ropes of making proper legislative decisions. But I think possible today is making the shortcut. With ideas like this and trainings like this, it kind of builds you much faster than most of what you will learn today might have taken you 2 years to gather in the field. So we must thank him for that.
The chairman, Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs Commission, Prince Gelly Penawol, urged other local government chairmen to take a cue from Honorable Ajedi. In a keynote address, Dr. Ikechukwu Gasioku harped on the challenges facing local government councils and the way forward.
We need capacity building, less of political interference, and corruption, which is one of the biggest problems of Nigeria, should be reduced. In that, we will strengthen the legislature for effective performance.
The two-day event featured lectures on the overview of local government legislature in Nigeria by Barrister Ezago, stress management at workplace by Dr. Notoma Tobore, strategies for strengthening the local government legislature by Tosan, a barrister, and strengthening relationship between the executive and the legislature towards effective local government administration by Chief Ehigiato, as well as process and procedure for passing bills and bylaws by Ibebunam Joseph.
Also, what I discussed with the councillors was based on overview of the local government system in Nigeria. So we just talked about how separation of powers, the local governments came in, the legislature at the local government came into being, decree number 3, down to the 1976 reforms, and how it's now subsumed in various state local government laws. We talked about what local governments are supposed, the legislatures are supposed to do, making bylaws and debates and approvals and all that. It was an interactive session, basically knowing what they do, how they do it, and looking at how to make it better. It wasn't really supposed to be a long topic. It's just something. It was more of a discussion. And well, we're at that point in the country where everyone is worried about what the next step is, what the next day will bring. We're in the period where there's the courts ordered local government autonomy. The local government system has to become stronger than it is. Our councillors really need to sit up. You know, those days where you sit down and you say it's the governor's fault, it's the president's fault, it's the chairman's fault, those days are gone. Everyone needs to sit up, everyone has to do their bit. We need to even know that they know what they are doing. Part of the discussion today was about how what areas of what part of the jurisdiction they have, what areas they can make bylaws for, and let's see how we can make them become more responsible.
We talked on stress and its management at our workplaces. We said stress is the changes we undergo from time to time, which could be acute, which could be episodic acute, which could be chronic. We talked about acute stress as those stress that comes and goes quickly. You know, stress when you want to prepare for a vacation, stress on your way to the hospital, stress when you have a quarrel with your boss or your neighbor. That's acute stress. Episodic stress, actually seen in healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, healthcare practitioners. We have chronic stress, which are long-term stress occurring for weeks. Most times they come to stay. Those are stress an individual experiences when there's a death of a loved one. Chronic illnesses, when a person has chronic illnesses, or you have a loved one having chronic illnesses. Stress from a divorce, from a marriage, those are chronic stresses. Then we talked of how to tackle such. Okay. Then we talked about complication of stress. We talked about it affecting you physically, behaviorally, and psychologically. Then talking about stress also causing the high blood pressure, for if it affects the cardiovascular system. High blood pressure called hypertension, which we all know, a blood pressure greater than 140 over 90, and which can also lead to other complications like stroke, heart failure, myocardial infarction, which can ultimately lead to death. Then we'll talk about how to manage stress. We talked about you as an individual, try to gain control of your work, gain control of your day, gain control of your week. Make a list of what you want to do. Have an outline of what you want to do. List them out and follow it up stepwise. You can take a long walk or a short distance walk if you want. If you are being stressed, you can think of the positive things you've been able to achieve that day or even that week. The positive things you've been able to achieve in a year instead of thinking of the negative things. All these are some of the ways to tackle stress, or even indulge in exercises. We talked about swimming, we talked about jogging.
I'm actually very excited about this trend. It's amazing that a local government in Delta State has decided to set a standard, training their legislators to perform better as legislators. The local government, as a third tier of government, is a very vital part of the success of any government, and equipping them to do their job more effectively will only have positive results. Today at the hall, we had a plethora of lectures by very qualified speakers, and the things that we learned, that we picked up today, are unquantifiable. When you can't even pay for these things. We've learned about the importance of the 30 year of government, about how to be more effective, how to function effectively as legislators. So I think that it's a welcome development. I hope other local governments take the initiative as well.
Participants, comprising councillors in the various wards in the Ukwani local government, lauded the initiative and promised to put the knowledge gained into good use.
As my second term in office, though in my first term in office, this seminar of this nature was not organized, but with this kind of seminar or organization, it's a resounding seminar. It give us another impact on how to do our oversight function, on how to do our legislative bill, on how to organize things that will make the local government to move forward. To be very honest with you, let me talk in the aspect of the health. The few information we got from the health resource person give us a different mind view on how to handle the issue of stress. First time, there are certain things you just look and overlook at it, not knowing that it makes a very big impact. She has told us on how to handle stress, when to visit the doctor and when to take care of herself. I think she really spoke very well. And the aspect of the legal aspect of it really teach us another side of information on how to handle legislative business. My chairman, God give him the grace to do more. Like, as he said, he's the torchbearer of the Do More agenda.
I think it's a fundamental issue actually that every council chairman should know. Training seminars are very important. What it does is that it equips councillors to know what they should do. At a certain level of government, at this level of government, the legislative assignment is very crucial because the local government is the closest to the people. And as such, local government councillors, that's the lawmakers and the local government, should ensure that they are given the proper and the requisite knowledge that are needed to perform their duties. I think at that point, that is what the council chairman has done. And as a matter of fact, he has hit the nail on its head. He has done what is supposed of a council chairman, and we are very grateful to him for this question.
774 local governments in Nigeria should try and emulate what Barrister Possible Ajala, the chairman of Ukwani local government area, is doing in trying to bring this kind of seminars to the doorsteps of our people, which will help them, enable them to do the principles of what they are called to serve, and that is doing the legislative business.